Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to buy, build and tune a drift car. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So starting things off in the auto show, we're buying the drift car. I'm going to keep it to a rough budget of around 300 grand just for the buying, and then we're going to upgrade it. So you can really build anything as long as it can have rear wheel drive. I always drift rear wheel drive. So you've got Nissans, like the GTRs, the 240SXs, they're great, Silvias even, 370Zs, and everything. Like you've got Fords, they're really good for drift cars. The Mustangs or the Capris or Escorts, they're always good. What else is there? There's Mazdas. If I go here, Mazda MX-5s, they're one of my favorite cars, and also the RX-7, which is arguably the best drift body. And the new arrival to Forza Horizon 4, the Supra. So here's the Supra, 250 grand in this game. Why not? We might as well go for it. So, no, that's not a Supra. That's completely the opposite of a Supra. There we go, the Supra. I'm just going to buy this car. Okay, we're going to custom upgrades. And starting things off with conversions, you should aim for between 300 and 600 horsepower for a beginner drift car. That's pretty much what I drift all the time. So with the Toyota, we can leave the engine stock, or you could maybe put in the V8. I'm leaving it stock because I do like the sound of the Supra. Some people like to drift all-wheel drive, but for JDM cars, definitely rear-wheel drive is the way to go, in my opinion. Single turbo, you could put that in. The twin turbo is the classic for the Supra, so I'm leaving all of those conversions stock. Cosmetic upgrades, you can really go with whatever you like. Personally, I'm just going to probably maybe I quite like this one, so yeah, I'm going with that one. Spoilers, you don't really need that much downforce on a drift car, so just choose whichever one of them you like the most. Personally, I'm a big fan of this one. I used it in my Supra build. The card will be in the top right, and any of these also just cosmetic really for drifting. You don't need too much. I'm just going to go for that one. It looks quite nice. And the sides also, any of them, I'll go with that one. The bonnet also, none of these really make much difference for drifting. You can drift any cosmetics, so I'm just leaving that stock. So we've got a grand total of 500 credits so far. So tyre compound, I would come back to after you know the total horsepower. The same with the grip. All you can do, you can put some of these just completely cosmetic. You don't have to go with anything will work for that. I'm going to max out the width. I think it makes it look nicer, more like a wide body. If you want to max out everything, I would max out the clutch and all the differentials and things for maximum tuning possibilities. And also you want to know that you can stop, so put in some race brakes. Any of these will work, but obviously drift suspension, clues in their name, it's the best for drifting. Put in race anti-roll bars so you get the maximum possible upgrades. A roll cage, more for aesthetic purposes, but yeah, you can put that in. Waste rate reduction, that's a big topic, but not really something you need to worry about too much. Some people like to drift heavy cars and some people like to drift light cars. Personally, I'd go for something in the middle or all the way the light. I think the Supra is quite heavy, so yeah, we are at almost £3,000. So yeah, it's not a light car, even with the race weight reduction. So with engine upgrades, I would max out everything until you get around that sort of 400 to 600 horsepower. The turbos, they are a good way to add a lot of extra horsepower. Once you've learned to drift your car with less horsepower, you can add more, and it just makes drifting a lot more fun. So that's pretty much it for building your car install setup. That cost me 38,500 credits. Now we're on to tuning, and you're going to need your calculators because we're using some tuning algorithms to get a baseline. So I'm going to pull mine up on my phone here. You'll be able to see this. We're going to go back into the custom upgrades and just press up on the D-pad, and if you see in the front weight distribution is 52%, then we just make a mental note of that. Go back into tuning, and we're going to be using that for a lot of these different tuning guide things. So tire compound, tire pressure, you can pretty much just go with whatever. I usually just go for 28 and all the way down on the back, just as a starting point. Gearing, that's a thing, I wouldn't touch that for now. You can do it later on if you want to fine tune your car, but they usually come stock, they're not too bad. So as far as the alignment goes, leave the front and rear camber and then put maximum front toe out. That's what you need. It will come stock with front caster at full, so leave that like that. Anti-roll bars, here's where we need to use our calculator, so I'm going to put it on the screen now, and here we go. So you're going to get the maximum and the minimum, so that's 64 is the gap between them, and then you're going to put that on your calculator, 64, and then you're going to multiply that by the front distribution, so times 0.52, and then we're going to add back the lowest value, which was 1, so plus 1, that's 34.28, and these are just starting points, but just go with the closest one. 34.28 is 34.3, so the rear, you don't really have to do that, so I just put that down a bit, make it a bit softer. It's usually better for drifting. The springs, you can also get a good measurement using that same algorithm with the front, and the rear, again, just make it a bit softer. The front is really the determining factor of how well your car's going to drift. So that's 1,345.7, and then we can just take away 269.1 to get the value in between, which is 1076.6, and then we times that by 0.52, which is the front weight distribution, and then we just add back 269.1, which gives us a value of 828.9. So I'm just going to put that in. So when you're doing the rear, you don't do 0.52, you do the opposite, which would be for the rear weight distribution, which is times 0.48, 1076.6 times 0.48 for the rear, and then we're adding back the 269.1 to get a value of 785.8. The ride height, just leave that the lowest it can go, best for drifting really. Damping, you can also use that formula, 17 times 0.52 plus 3, 11.84, and the same with this one, so 17 times 0.48, because it's the rear, we need to use the opposite of the front weight distribution, so that's and then we just add back the 3, we get 11.1. The bump stiffness, I would just put that down a bit. Aero, you can do whatever. Mine's locked because they're not the Forza wings, but it doesn't really matter. Braking, go the balance, I would go completely towards the front. That doesn't really matter, the braking pressure. The differential, people run different differential settings, but I would go with all the way maxed out. It just makes a good balance. And that is pretty much our drift setup complete. Just save that and then go back with those final settings and change the tire compound. So we have 533 horsepower, so I'm probably going to put on the street tire compound or the sport tire compound. The race one gives you a lot of grip, which is kind of too much, so I'm going to go with the sport tire compound. With the front, it's already got 235s. We can probably go up to 245s, and the back we can probably go 265s. Should work. So with that, our drift setup is complete. Okay, so just before I took it out, I did put in some more horsepower because it was a little bit lacking. Now we've got almost 1,000, got around about 700. I did keep the stock engine though, so yeah, we should be able to get some drifts with this. The engine in the Toyota Supra sounds absolutely crazy in Forza Horizon 4, almost as good as it did way back in Horizon 2, which was probably the best sounding Supra in any video game. Got a little drift party going with this Honda S2000. So if this video reaches 3 likes, I'll do a how to drift in Forza Horizon 4 tutorial following up from this video. So yeah, go smash that like button and stay tuned for a drifting tutorial. I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Thank you all for watching, and like I said, hit the like button if you want to see a how to drift tutorial in Forza Horizon 4. The like goal is 3 likes, not 300 likes, just 3 likes. So go and smash the like button. I'm sure you guys can do that. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.